Hi everyone, this is Ryan and welcome back to God's Sentinels of the Future. Today we're going to be doing a full quantum reversal on Maylor's older video, which was previously known as the foot trap. This is one of Maylor's very entertaining and even funny first videos that he did with Mookie, a previous budgie we had. She was a young female budgie that had a bit of a mischievous streak in her. Maylor was much older and trying to teach her to talk, but as with most female budgies, she did not seem to be very interested. So in the forward mode, there's a lot going on. It starts off with Maylor talking about the fear that some have about our future. At the same time, Mookie and him are on top of the cage and Mookie pecks at Maylor. As he tries to get out of the way, he gets his foot caught in the clasp on the cage that's holding the millet. I ask Maylor if he's okay, and I say something to the effect that we'll have to move the clasp so it doesn't happen again. Maylor responds with how he learned his lesson and we should leave the clasp there because it is needed for the millet. Then he says, "Oh shoot," or possibly the other word, and remarks about people laughing at him. Then while watching Mookie, he says that from now on she will have to be watched more closely, and mentions that all budgies make mistakes. A little bit later, he flies back on the cage and stands tall looking at Mookie, calling her a brat because she keeps on pecking at him. So this is what Maylor says in forward mode. "We must solve this fear that we're not special because your future isn't left to a stranger's major mistakes. Everyone is free to admit and let the evidence of this spark your interest. The timing we invest in this forum will be for future experiences. This parrot learned a lesson when he got hurt. Stay with that big clasp. It keeps millet in place. Oh shoot, they'll laugh at me. Every one of us budgies survive when we aren't perfect. Here this parrot will have to be watched physically. If you'll try to post a question once directly, we'll answer. Mookie's a brat. For this mission, we'll need more people involved." How are you today, Maylor? How's Mookie doing? You okay, Maylor? Did you hurt your foot or something? I'll have to move that thing. Talk louder, Maylor, so I can hear you. In the reverse part of this, there's a lot of symbolism going on. Maylor talks about how reversing evil in oneself or a group can create a miracle. He also talks about how God wants to create movement in synergy and embrace coming prophecies. It is interesting how he says that we will have to wait to see some of the prophecies unfold as well. The symbols he uses are a fever, which I believe is a spiritual sickness, a virus, that is something that we get from others, the antidote, a spiritual needle, a progressive infusion of spirituality, and the cure. So some of these symbols you may have already experienced in your dreams. So if you have, God and the angels are already communicating with you. This is what he says in reverse. We know people hearing our miracle will be able to reverse evil. With help, we have made a decision to become creatures of God. He's invested in moving the synergy where we can have serious connections with the angels. And we have to embrace the process of coming prophecy. You have to wait to see these events pass. God will rest the fever while developing a miracle that will eliminate the virus that humans have ingested without knowing. Surely there's a limit as time passes. You'll need to take the antidote that helps you in suffering, for most people have this condition. You will have a progressive infusion that will give you the cure. And then I say in reverse, yes, that will come. God has the answers through religion to negate the corruption. I say, if one's looking for a cure in this life, there will be pills that improves your mental health. We can formulate something that helps you spiritually with an injection of pure love and promise complete sanity. You're not just viewing a change in religion. It mends America's spiritual apathy. The solution applied affects everyone. Spiritual depression is a type of cancer. Jesus Christ spiritually protests the views and apathy incited by some of you.
Het was er lopen dus. Alleen meer goed. Nou, die komt zo. Alleen meer de dier.
This is Linda, and I'm doing the final part of this presentation. I think the question we have to ask ourselves is, do we, or our culture as a whole, need some of these spiritual cures? And what impact does it have on our eternal soul? Other questions might be, are we spiritually sick when we do not care about the kind of world we leave our children in the future? Are we spiritually confused if we do not believe in God or a higher power that can reverse evil and cause miracles? Do we have spiritual apathy when we take greed over a spiritual path, when we make decisions that affect ourselves and others in the future? Are we in spiritual depression when we are not happy in life and don't care about the truth and evil actions of others? Do we accept corruption as just a part of our modern culture? Do we believe that the destruction of humanity as a whole is inevitable because God cannot help us? Do we believe that we are spiritual beings that are meant to evolve to a point where we can be closer to God and join Him in heaven? So if you really do not know the answers to these questions, our eternal and conscious soul does, for it is still connected. Yet, if we are thinking the opposite or unsure of what our soul actually knows, then we are in spiritual confusion. In order to get out of spiritual confusion, we must connect to the eternal soul, which can provide us with God's truth and answers. This truth will enable our soul to evolve spiritually as an individual and ultimately help humanity spiritually evolve as a whole.
This completes this presentation. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to join us, you can come to theangelscrolls.com and click onto the forum link at the top, where we will be adding the newest presentations. Bye for now.